Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Katherine.Kelly, and I get asked all the time, both from psychotherapy clients as well as soul healing clients, whether or not they are on the right path. Now, I get the fact that people need feedback, but really the main way to know that you are on your right path is whether or not you're listening to your soul. And I know my newsletter from this month is about the fact that the soul never sleeps. It is always present with you. It is always operating kind of behind the scenes, like almost like a computer program. But I want to help you understand how to know if you are on the right soul path. And it takes a little bit of effort, but not very much actually, because it is about aligning with your soul. And my soul health model is all about aligning with spirit for radiant living. But what that means is aligning with yourself, learning to understand what you need, what you don't need, understanding those little voices within that are trying to get your attention. All of that is soul based. I think there's this mystical idea that the soul is something outside of us, that the soul is something we have to really reach enlightenment in order to have it be an effective part of our life. But really, the soul is present with us at all times. So, the soul path that we are on, we are already at this very moment, we are exactly where we're supposed to be, given what the universe has created for us, how we created that, and also what our choices through free will have created for us. Now, the best way to make sure that you are on your soul path is just to start to listen. Now, in my newsletter, I mentioned a situation where uh, really an unexpected situation where way back when I was getting ready to accept offers for my internship after my postdoc or my pre-doctoral training for my psychology degree, I had ranked 15 different sites, and the one that I put at the bottom was a fantastic site. I just didn't want to go there for several reasons. I didn't want to really follow in the footsteps of people who had been there before. It was a fantastic program. It was highly ranked in the country, but I just didn't want to go there for those reasons. And so it was one of those interesting things where on match day, I was, sitting down like everybody else does, waiting for the phone calls to start coming in. And my number one choice called pretty quickly, and I put them on hold. And that's odd because it was what I was expecting to accept that offer right away. But it was one of those things where my gut, my soul was like, wait, there is something not right here. And when the call came in pretty quickly after that for my number 15 choice, I accepted it. And it was this very odd experience because for me, intellectually, I had it all planned out for where I needed to go, but my soul was telling me something different. Now, I was shocked. My professors were shocked, but because basically I just ranked my ideas differently for where I thought I wanted to be. But what ended up happening is when I got there, again, there was some very challenging things that happened in the doctoral in that internship. Not about me. It was just some things that were happening around me. And I thought, okay, gosh, okay, universe wanted me to come here. What the heck is this about? But then things unfolded in such an interesting way that I would not have met some of the most important people in my life had I not gone there. I would not have experienced some of the most important things in my life that I did. And so we have to understand that our soul path is all related with what we decide in the moment. And yes, we have free will. And yes, we have to think through things. But really, it's what our gut tells us. It's what that soul message is behind everything that aligns our life for our soul path. And our purpose, again, I get asked all the time, what is my life purpose? What is my soul purpose? And most people don't actually find out what their soul purpose is until their last few lifetimes, because your life purpose is very different. Everybody has lots of life purposes in a one given lifetime. People don't realize that because we have a life purpose as a child when we were growing up. We have a life purpose as a boyfriend or girlfriend. We have a life purpose as a mother or a father or whomever, whatever the role is. We have life purposes in terms of what we do for a living if we choose to work outside the home. So we have lots of life purposes that are all strung together to create your soul path. But your soul purpose is strung between each and every lifetime. It is a theme. It is part of what you're supposed to be learning about yourself and understanding from lifetime to lifetime. But most people don't experience their soul purpose until the end of their round of lifetimes on this planet. So I want to make that clear that people get really confused with that think, oh, my soul purpose has to be figured out even if you're a young soul. Well, actually, when you're a young soul, you're not supposed to figure out your soul purpose, maybe your life purpose, because that will take you to the next step on your soul path. And I hope that makes sense because all of the lifetimes we experience are part of our soul path. And the way that we know if we're not on that path is through things like regret, that there's a sense of, wow, I really wish I wouldn't have done that. And so that regret veers us off of our course in order to get us uncomfortable enough to hopefully not have regret in the future by similar decisions. So we realign, we re-gear, we point ourselves in that direction of being more true to ourselves in the future. So our soul path lays itself out in front of us in each and every moment that we are true to ourselves. So every second when you are making a decision that, oh, yep, this is what feels right, that means you're one step further on that soul path. Anything that doesn't feel right to you, anything that feels misaligned, anything that feels like, wow, I wish I wouldn't have taken that course or taken that job or move to the city. And so it's that realizing that, wow, okay, the regret piece of this is part of your soul path because it is there to teach you. But the more and more you learn to listen and learn to align your life in every single moment, the smoother life becomes, the more the smoother it is, the more easy it is to get through life because you are on that path. When you feel like you're kind of bumbling along or tripping over yourself, that's usually a time to step back and reevaluate. Step back and go, wow, am I off course here? Is there something that I need to do to learn to evolve beyond or choose differently so that I can get on that soul path? So, the soul path is an interesting thing because we think it's this blissful, wonderful thing all the time. It is easier when we're in our soul path, but part of our soul path is about life lessons. Part of our soul path is about the difficult things in life. And those difficult things are there to train us and teach us and have our experiences kind of guide us and help us realize what does and doesn't fit, but we're not going to get it right away. We have to go through things. People who have been through multiple relationships and still haven't found the right relationship, a lot of times it's because either those relationships are there to teach them more and more along the way, or they haven't learned what they're supposed to yet. So you have to kind of think about every difficult thing is part of the soul path just as much as every wonderful and beautiful thing. So how to know you're on your soul path is that when you stop in a situation, you say, am I where I'm supposed to be in this moment? Doesn't mean you have to like where you are, but if you are in a situation that you know you're learning and that you know that you're in this place where you are evolving because of your experiences, or it's making you kind of go in a direction to evaluate your life in a certain way, that means your soul is in action. It is awake and within you at all times. And it's a matter of, how do I get back on that soul path? How do I get into that place where I feel, okay, this feels more right to me. This is where this takes me down that path of going, yep, that's the next step, and that's the next step, and that's the next step. It is one of those really interesting things, though, because I tell people, in fact, I told someone just today that when we work with the universe works with us. And what I mean by that is when we do our work, when we do our soul health work, when we are clearing out the cobwebs and the difficult times and the debris of the human condition, the universe kind of opens up to us. It affirms us. It rewards us for our work in one way or another. And one of those ways is that it opens up opportunities that we would not have seen if we hadn't done that work. So if we hadn't been doing our soul work, hadn't been doing the healing work from the human condition piece, we wouldn't be able to see beyond the rubble to be able to go, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I just had this experience this morning with a client that she just got through a very challenging time of the last 4 years. And she's been kind of exhausted and unmotivated. And finally, she had a health problem come up this morning. And it jolted her into the fact of realizing, well, wait a minute, I need to take some different steps. I need to do something differently. And so, again, she's on her soul path. She's working in a very good and rigorous way to get herself going where she knows she needs to be. So when I talk about this whole process of getting on and off your track, our soul is present in every one of those moments. Our soul is very present at every given turn and twist and tumble that we take. But it's about how we listen to it. And what are we doing inside to listen to make sure that we are getting on that path? And oftentimes we have to fall down in order to get on that path. So I want to really emphasize this, that it's not easy peasy. It's not something that comes very easily, because we are not taught to learn, or we're not taught to listen to our souls. We are taught to listen to our brains a lot of times, or the romanticized version of, oh, if you follow your heart. I don't believe that. I don't believe that if we follow our heart, it's always going to work out, because our head can lead us wrong, our heart can lead us wrong, but that soul never leads us wrong. So, ways to know you're on your soul path. You don't have very much regret going on in your life. You're not upset all the time. You're not in turmoil all the time. How to know you need to get on the right track? It means, okay, there's some discomfort involved. There's something nudging you to do something differently. That discomfort is a really good motivator for doing that soul searching that needs to happen for us to get on that soul path. So, even though I think people romanticize having the soul be present at all times through enlightenment or through meditation, it's not always experienced that way, because we have to have discomfort to motivate us and initiate change that will allow us to be on that soul path. So I hope that makes sense to you, because I do try to humanize and break down the soul into something that's very tangible, but it's that operating system that's underneath the surface at all times, that's trying to move us forward, that's trying to get us out of harm's way and show us that this, whatever discomfort we have, is there to align us. Even though it may feel uncomfortable, it's there to motivate us to do that soul searching, to get us on the right track. So again, there's so many different nuances and details about how the soul works, but it is present at all moments, within the discomfort as much as it is with the joy. But to also remember that the soul's most natural state is contentment and joy. That does not mean it's not speaking through our discomfort in order for us to get more joyful. So keep that in mind, that sometimes the discomfort is our soul's way of saying, okay, let's get our act together and let's get on track. So I hope this is helpful for you. Again, I'm trying to break this down and make this very tangible and help you understand how the human condition interacts with the soul condition. But this is what soul health is all about. So hope you have a wonderful day, and more to come soon. Take care. Bye-bye.